Thank you for joining me. My name is DeYonne Parker. I am the swagologist, and my mission is to empower ladies, leaders, and little girls. And I do that through the Swag University, workshops, through books. I'm a 2-time author, and several other things that you can get plugged into. So get plugged in. So this is my courage cast for the week. It's Muscle Up Monday. And you know, that is the day that we move out of our comfort zone into our courage zone. We operate from there. We do things that we haven't done before. We challenge ourselves to get uncomfortable with things that we want to try. We challenge ourselves to pick up projects maybe that we've left behind and to persevere. And so this is that day. But what if you don't feel like being courageous? What if you've lost your courage muscle? That's very real for some people, right? Can we just be honest? Hey, Allie, can we just have a truth moment? Sometimes you may not feel like being courageous, and all you want to do is crawl back into your comfort zone and stay right there under your comfort zone in your comfy little slippers and go hide right there. And that's very real. So what do you do when you've lost your courage muscle? So that's what this courage cast is today. Sometimes our courage muscle can be lost from failure, from something that we tried and it didn't work out and it sent us running for cover. Sometimes it could be a disruption in our day-to-day life. Here we are going along life and something just happens and life threw you a sucker punch, whether it was your health, whether it was your marriage, whether it was your friendship, whether it was your job, whatever that might be. You got thrown a sucker punch on your way to being courageous. And here you are now sitting in a space with you losing or lost your courage muscle. So what do you do from here? So let me tell you, I was having this conversation with myself. Yes, I often talk to myself. I hope you do too, because that's where some of the best conversations start, is with ourselves first. So I said, self, it's okay to have lost your courage muscle for the moment, because sometimes you need just a moment to catch your breath, because something caught you off guard. If you try to persevere in that state, and you're in a sense of, some of us can, right? We can persevere and we can keep going, and that's great. But sometimes you need to give yourself permission to sit in what's going on right now. Sometimes you need to find your way back into your comfort zone, to retreat for just a minute, to see what's happened, to examine the lay of the land, to understand what muscle mass you've lost. I was going to show y'all my arm, but that's too embarrassing. I will not show you my lack there of muscles. I'm working on it. But sometimes you've got to actually examine your muscle mass, right? Where you've lost it, what's happening in your current situation, your current state, and just examine and then take a deep breath for just a moment. So I'm telling y'all, I have been taking deep breaths, lots of them lately, lots of deep breaths, because I need to examine what's going on around me, what's happening, how do I rally from here? And it's very interesting what God is teaching me in this moment. Yes, the word says be strong and courageous, and it tells us all throughout the Bible that we are not to be afraid, and that God did not give us a spirit of fear. But again, he didn't say we never wouldn't feel it, right? So there's times where we need to feel what's going on in order for us to actually make our way through it. And so if you haven't given yourself permission to just be where you're at right now, I say, sister, give yourself permission, because we need it. We need to feel how we feel. We need to retreat for just a second to catch our breath and rally up and say, okay, where from here now, Lord? The next thing I would say is this. Examine how long you stay there. While it's okay for you to retreat, to catch your breath, to examine your muscle mass and the lack there of that courage, it's not okay for us to stay there for too long. And let me tell you why. Just as our muscles, our physical muscles, need to be worked out on a day-to-day basis or consistent working out, because we lose muscle mass over the time, right? And if we continue to let that lay dormant or not pick up those weights or move the body, ensure that we're building mass, we lose it. We just simply lose it, and it just becomes flabby and just out of shape and just there. And it takes a longer time to get that back. Same thing here when you think about your courage muscle. When you think about if you are yourself have lied in that place for too long, then you know that you need to do something to make sure that that courage muscle gets worked out. So what you do from here is to give yourself that permission now, after you've retreated, to come back. Come back. It's time for a comeback. Some of us have been in that comfort zone for a long time. We've given ourselves the permission. It might very well be now for you time to come back. And how do you come back? Well, I tell you, some of the best comeback is when I feed myself word, when I feed myself the word, or I surround myself with people who can feed me the word and to encourage me and to affirm me until I can find my courage muscle yet again. Okay. And so as you are starting to approach maybe that thing that puts you in that comfort zone or assisted you in losing your courage muscle, you're going to have to muster up the biggest breath that you can, take a deep breath and head back in, because God gave us power. That's the beautiful thing, right? Didn't give us a spirit of fear, but he did give us power and a sound mind. So as you are thinking about looking at where you're at, again, examining, lay of the land, where you at, taking your deep breath, retreating for just a minute to see, how do I now strategize here? Get back in the game, build your muscle mass, take a deep breath, feed yourself word, daily devotionals, affirmations, surround yourself with a team, a crew of people that's going to help you to lift your arms when you can't. The other day, I took my son to an amusement park, and I don't like roller coasters anymore. I don't know how many of you like roller coasters. If you like roller coasters, that is wonderful. I used to back in the day, but a sister now is 46 years old. And my little boy, my 12-year-old, and his crew bullied me into getting on some roller coasters at this amusement park. One of the main ones was the Goliath. I was like, okay, Lord, I see you. I see you in this. I was terrified to get on this Goliath. Now, this Goliath was huge, and it goes all around the park. And that was like the main thing. If you've never ridden it, then you've not done Six Flags, the amusement park. And so my son, this was his first time being able to actually get on the Goliath, and he was so excited. I was not. And so we began to have this conversation about how we would conquer our fear. And so he was like, I'm just going to go in with a straight face, mommy. I'm just going straight face. I'm getting on nothing. I'm just straight facing it. I said, okay, I can't promise you that. So as we got on the Goliath, I'm going up, and all of a sudden I see that first hill. I see it. I see what's in front of me, and I know it's going to be this giant drop. I closed my eyes and I held my breath until I felt it. But I gave myself permission to close my eyes because I knew I would freak out if I saw what was in front of me. So sometimes courage may require you to close your eyes as you fighting and throwing your stones, because D has some stones to be thrown at the Goliath. I just want y'all to know. So when you think about your courage muscle, there's a ton of different ways to put your courage muscle on the shelf and head back to your comfort zone. But what do you do when you don't feel it? You retreat for a minute, examine the lay of the land, find out what you do, and just give yourself permission to breathe and so that you could see it and make your way through it. Don't stay there too long, but encourage yourself. Find people around you. Feed yourself devotionals and affirmations, and then come out fighting, even if it's with your eyes closed. You can still hit targets with your eyes closed. I'm just saying. Okay? So Time to build your muscles, even when you don't feel like it, but we've got to be consistent about it. Take one step at a time out of your comfort zone or out of that zone that you put yourself in because you just didn't feel like being courageous that day. Take one step at a time towards the thing that puts you in that, towards the thing that you know you need to do. Come on, ladies. It's time for us to use our courage muscles. Our courage zone is waiting for us, and other people are looking for us to be courageous as well. But I want you to give yourself that permission to retreat and then come back out. Okay? That's your courage cast for the week. I hope you go back and replay it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Some of us need to hear each other, and some of us need to talk and tell the truth about where we're at. Where are you at? Are you in your courage zone, or have you retreated? And if you have, how are you coming out? All right, ladies, I'll talk to you soon. Love you to life. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll chat soon. Bye.